Welcome to the Cape Computer Science Unit 2 Specimen paper. This is paper 2 where I work out all the questions according to the new syllabus that would have been set out in 2022. So it's examinable from 2022 onwards, and every module, when I finish a module, I check the answers that they have in the specimen paper. We check to see if my answers match up to theirs. If my answers do match up to theirs, then we say, okay, if they don't match up, I check to see if I made the mistake or they made the mistake. But all in all, it's supposed to help you understand and interpret the questions, and more so see how they mark and see what a mark scheme looks like and the kind of keywords that they look for, and sometimes that their mark scheme may be kind of wrong, and we have to kind of tussle with that as CSEC and CAPE students. So check it out, watch the video. I hope it helps you understand at least the reasoning process for all of the answers that we have, and wherever there are mistakes, I would have checked the answers and see if they matched up. So this should help you out, especially for people, if you've been doing a lot of old past papers. This one will help you understand the new format of the exam, which is a bit different, right? So enjoy the video. Alright, so module 2, software engineering. This one has a lot more writing, and of course they're going to check your knowledge of all the deep things, right? That's basically what they're trying to do. State one advantage and one disadvantage of the evolutionary approach to software development. The advantage is the user gets to have a say/look at the progress being made on the system. And the disadvantage is the project can drag on over a long period of time due to scope creep. Basically, the goalposts keep moving and you don't know when the project is actually finished. Yeah. Alright, a company receives an order from customers and an acknowledgement of receipt of the order is sent to the customer. Alright, so the data flow diagram, so let's see if we could hammer it out by drawing the matching the colors. So let's start. Alright, company is well, the company is what we're describing. So you're receiving the order from the customer. Customer is external entity. You receive an order from a customer. An acknowledgement of receipts, that is a piece of data. Acknowledgement of receipt of the order is sent back to the customer. Alright, to the customer, so there's an external entity. A check is then made for the availability of the items ordered. So the check is then made. A check is then made as a process. So check made for the availability of the items. Where are they checking? They checking somewhere in a database. Where's the database? We'll create the database called the items database. Alright, cool. If the items are not in stock, the customer is informed. So the customer is informed. That would be a arrow going back to the customer. Customer is informed and given the opportunity to cancel. Okay. The opportunity to cancel is, we had to put that as something because they have to give a response on if they cancel it or not. If the order is not cancelled, the order is processed. So we have processed the order. Process the order. Oh shucks, I'm using the wrong color for these. This is customer is informed, given the opportunity to cancel. So they have to respond with the opportunity to cancel. If the order is not cancelled, the order is processed, right? And for the order to be processed as a process, for the items that are in stock. an internal order form is generated. So an internal order form being generated, that is a process, and used for processing payment, and an invoice is prepared. An invoice, internal order form is generated and used for processing payment. The internal order form is generated, so the internal order form is the actual piece of data. Okay, so the internal order form is one, and then generated and used for processing payment. Now, it being generated and used for processing payment could be one whole process, or generating the internal order form is one process, and then processing the payment is another one. Okay, so I'll put generated and used for processing payment as one. And then they have an invoice is prepared. Invoice is prepared. That is a process also. And sent to the customer. Customer is still external entity. Customer's payment is received, verified, and acknowledged. To receive, verify, and acknowledge, that looks like receive, verified, and acknowledge. And a receipt is generated. Receipt is generated. Receipt is generated is a receipt is generated for the customer. Receipt is generated is that's sent to the customer, and the items are delivered. All right. Some parts of it seem a little sketchy, so let's see what will happen when we try to draw it out. So we have the customer, which is an external entity, sends in their order. The order goes an acknowledgement of receipt is sent to the customer. So we'll name this receive order. I before E except after C, right? Receive order. We receive the order, we send the acknowledgement receipt. Alright, the actual acknowledgement receipt goes to the customer. Alright, a check is then made for the availability of the items ordered. Right, so receiving the order, the check could be made right from the receive the order. That would make sense, because as soon as you receive the order, you'll check for it. We don't need to create a new process just to check for it. So I will just check for the order here. So we check, we have to send the query into the, we have to send the query in, which is the ID or something, so, and then we get back the status. Or no, we don't have to send anything, because if we send anything, we're storing it. So we're not storing anything. All we're doing is we're checking for the status. So we get the status from the items database. When we get the status from the items database, what we're doing is if the items are not in stock, the customer is informed and given the opportunity to cancel. I think I'll break it into two processes, because the informing them, that's something something separate. So we'll say send the order ID. We'll call it the ID, and I'll create this process and name this process check availability. Right, so when you check the availability, now you could send a message to the customer, which you could duplicate on the X side, to let them know if it is there or not. The customer is informed. Inform the customer status. Right, the customer now will determine if they're going to cancel or not. So the customer will now send a message to say whether they cancel or not. If the order is not canceled, the order is processed. So then now we could go with process order. So we say cancellation choice. Right, so the cancellation choice goes into a process order. And the process order, if the order is not cancelled, the order is processed for the items that are in stock. An internal order form is generated. So to process the order, they're going to create an internal order form. So the internal order form is going to be generated and used to processing payment. So now we're going to send the internal order form to another process. The name of this is going to be prepare invoice. This internal order form. Prepare invoice. And it is the invoice is sent to the customer. Invoice is sent to customer again. The customer's payment is received, verified and acknowledged, and a receipt is generated. So then the customer will send back their payment to this one. Customer sends their payment. And a receipt is generated and sent to the customer. Customer's payment is received. Payment verify. Alright, we'll call that verify payment. Right, verify the payment, and once you verify the payment, we're going to send a receipt. And where they getting the item from? The items are after which the items are delivered. Who delivered the item? I received the generated. I don't know. After you verify the payment to deliver the item too. I don't know who delivered the item because there is no like warehouse or anything like that. Alright, this is interesting. Let's go check and see what they had for this answer. I think I saw this answer already and I'm very upset about it. Let's see if my upsetness is warranted. Alright, advantage software could get developed incrementally and functional be made available to end users even though the entire system is not finished. Alright, cool, that's good. And disadvantage, systems are poorly structured or the continual change tends to corrupt the structure. Alright, good. Yeah, that's 2 marks here. Now let's see what they have for this data flow diagram. What? You know, there's literally tell you that a process can't be named like an external entity. So they have a process named sales and warehouse and dispatch and accounts, but those are the names of external entities. Those are nouns. Processes are supposed to be verbs. Yeah. This answer is not it. This answer is not it. Anyhow, they have the order, they have the acknowledgement. Financial details and financial details. What is financial details? Order details go to warehouse, but nowhere did they mention any warehouse. How will we know that there is a warehouse? We have to assume that there's a warehouse. Then they have inventory. Alright, so we have inventory. What is invoice? Why is there a data store for invoices? They didn't say that the invoices are stored in any data store. And invoices prepared and sent to the customer. Customer's payment is received, verified, and acknowledged. There is no. Yeah, I 100% do not agree with this answer. I don't know what your views are. Yeah, so let's go with my answer, because I think more than likely when the markers sit down and they have to mark the question and they see this answer on the mark scheme, they most likely will object. Any rational computer science teacher who is marking CXC would watch this answer and say, no, we can't mark it like this, because it's not adding up. But the mark scheme says customer entity is 1 mark, data stores 1 mark, even though they have 2 data stores. 6 processes, 6 marks. We ended up with 5 processes, because they don't even have 6 processes in their answer. No, 5 processes. They have 4 processes in their answer, but they have 5 processes for 1 mark each. No, it's 6 processes they have here. Look, they have 6 processes, 1 mark each, but the answer only has 4 processes. Well, what we would call a process, because they named it. Yeah, somebody was sleeping when they did this. That's not cool. And then 15 to 13 data flows, 5 marks. 12 to 10 data flows, 4 marks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But they only have 10 data flows in their question, in their answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, they have bigger data flows and smaller data flows, so they have 13. But they have 15 to 13 data flows. Yeah, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I am not having it. This can't be the answer that they want. Cannot. It definitely doesn't follow the flow of the question. Alright, as always, just keep in mind that this is what could happen for your exam, and just answer it to the best of your ability and hope that the examiners at the point in time raise a question or some kind of thing. Alright, state 3 important considerations when conducting a feasibility study to develop an application. You probably want to consider cost, time frame, and tools available. So cost is can the client afford? Time frame would be can it be done in time? Tools available would be, do we have the tools to build it? Yeah, that should be cool. Yeah, should be okay with that. Part B, a certain university has a number of colleges. Each college has 1 or more departments. A lecturer is hired by 1 or more departments. A department could teach many courses, and a course can be taught by 1 or more lecturers. The following information is stored on a course: code, credit, and credit hours. Try the ERD for this. 12 marks. This one not that bad. Alright, so this is always a contentious thing if to include university. I've just started to include it because of, I don't know, peer pressure. University has a number of colleges. So has a university, one university has a number of colleges, many colleges, we don't know how much. Right, so one university has many colleges. We will put the 1 or many, and we'll put the 1. Each college has one or more departments. So each college, many colleges could have many departments. A lecturer is hired by one or more departments. So a department hires one or more departments, hires department, because you can't put plurals in our ERD. They take away marks for that. So a lecturer, department hires a lecturer. One department hires many lecturers, but they should have one or more. Yeah, that should be one or more there too. A department could teach many courses, and a course could be taught by one or more lecturers. A department could teach many courses. So department teaches many courses. A department. One department teaches many courses. A department teaches many courses. Should it be many departments teach many courses? No, one department teaches many courses. I should put one or many there too. And a department can teach many courses, and a course can be taught by one or more lecturers. So a lecturer, a course is taught by one or more lecturers. One course is taught by one or more lecturers. Following information is stored on a course, which is code, primary key, name, credit hours, alright. I see no further issues. Maybe I missed out something. Let's check the answers and see. Let's check. I hope they didn't do us like they did the data flow diagram. Alright, so for a thing, you want to check technical feasibility, economic feasibility, legal feasibility, operational. Yeah, all those answers we had there, so that 3 marks should be okay. Let's see, they have university contains, they don't even have the one or more. Sometimes it's be confusing when you're supposed to put in the one or more, but they don't put it in. Because they put it in some things. And even they have the code here. The code is the primary key, but they didn't underline it. Clearly, once you state that the code is the primary key, you must put it in. So, university contains many colleges, right? Good. The college contains many departments. They have one college contains many departments. I have many colleges contain many departments. Because if the university has many colleges, then many colleges have multiple departments, or one college contains many departments. I guess it could swing either way if you have one. But many colleges having many departments is totally acceptable also, because that's perfectly logical. A department offers many courses, right? Many departments have many lecturers, hire many lecturers. Why they allow many to many for that one? A department can teach many courses, and a course can be taught by one or more lecturers. Yeah, why department gets the many, but colleges didn't get many? Doesn't make sense. Alright, a course is taught by many lecturers. They have many courses, A lecturer teaches many courses. Many lecturers teach many courses. I will agree with that. The many should be here. Many lecturers teach many courses. And then of course the attributes of course should be code, name, and credit hours. But the code is the primary key, so the code should be underlined. I guess, yeah, they must underline the code. Let me see what it said. All 5 entities correctly drawn and labeled, 3 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, good. Attributes of course correctly shown. Primary key of course, code clearly shown, but they didn't show that the primary key clearly shown here. Nope, they didn't in the diagram. 5 relationship between entities correctly drawn and labeled. Correct cardinalities of 5 relationships, 3 marks. The correct cardinalities, that will trim off a little bit because some of the cardinalities that they have in their answer don't make sense. Well, it's not consistent with how the question is stated. But again, when these questions come up, the examiners usually get to ask questions and they alter the mark scheme to make sure that they meet the proper requirements when they're going through. So usually EID diagrams and data flow diagrams, they have a little discussion. They have a little leeway in terms of how it works out, because the people who correct in the exam, they have a right to say what is not making sense or what is making sense, right? Alright, cool. So that is module 2. Right, so of course, thanks for watching. You made it to the end. If you're looking for Cape IT classes that you want me to teach, you could check us out at education.makeITsimpleTT.com, and you will see all the different packages that we have for Cape IT classes. And of course, you could always come back to this YouTube channel, and there'll always be free videos here to explain different things to you. But if you want dedicated classes that will explain certain things to you and make sure you understand the syllabus inside out, then check us out, education.makeITsimpleTT.com. You'll see Cape IT, and we have a various set of classes from crash courses all the way down to full-on classes with assignments and IA assistance and paper 3 assistance. So you can check that out, makeITsimpleTT.com.